Raise your hand if you own an Apple iPhone. I'm not surprised by the number of hands in the air. Apple US smartphone market share is holding at 41.8%, up 2.2% over last year. Apple is also reporting record pre-order sales for its iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, and Apple Watch scheduled for early release in 2015. Apple revenue is also up 23% in the third quarter over the last full quarter of co-founder CEO Steve Jobs. Do you know what is driving Apple's success? How you answer this question could affect your next job search. In 2014, Apple CEO Tim Cook credited the remaking of Apple's organizational culture to its recent success. I currently work for a company that replaced its CEO, recapitalized its balance sheet, changed its strategy and structure to improve its organizational culture. Successful companies promote and change to maintain a winning organizational culture for employer and employee. Today we're going to talk about why organizational culture is important. Secondly, how organizational culture benefits the employee. And finally, where we can find organizational culture credited with the financial success for the employer and the employee. Why is organizational culture powerful? People are focused on shared values and norms. Culture is a system of shared values, what is important, and norms, the appropriate attitude and behavior. Strong cultures also enhance the performance in two ways. One, motivating employees to release their ideas and values and rally around unified goals. And secondly, boosting performance by shaping and coordinating employee behavior. Culture is also about executing the mission. Southwest Airlines is the only U.S. airline that has been profitable for the last 28 years. One key success to Southwest Airlines is the short boarding and unboarding time at the gate, averaging 15 minutes versus the competitor's average of 35. We have covered the why. Let's talk about how organizational culture benefits the employee. We start with empowerment. UCLA Anderson professor Flamholtz discusses his research of Google and how the decision-making process within winning organizational culture can benefit the employees. A culture is promoting a sense of teamwork. To keep the shared values in place, the hiring process is completed on a consensus basis. Google allows its employee work groups to actually complete the entire hiring process. This allows the team to make the final decision, boarding the employee, training the employee, and taking responsibility for their new team member. The corporate social responsibility value at Starbucks is a great employee engagement example. The company's mission to inspire the human spirit extends beyond Starbucks stores. It means engaging and supporting employees and customers engaged in community. Starbucks set a goal for its company's employees to contribute more than 1 million hours of community service each year. Starbucks plans to reach this goal by 2015. We have covered the why and how of winning culture. Where can we find winning culture credited to the success of the employer and employee? On August 24th of 2011, incoming Apple CEO Tim Cook inherited a company specialized in specialized groups devoted to hardware, software, marketing, and finance. The first cultural change that took place at Apple was in 2012 when CEO Tim Cook fired Scott Forstall, one of Steve Jobs' trusted lieutenants. What followed was realignment within the groups, impacting the culture of thousands of Apple employees. Apple's new culture is now focused on values and norms and not small groups, and the guiding voice of Steve Jobs. On September 18th of 2014, CEO Tim Cook was asked about Apple's cultural change and the developing culture at Apple, and he replied, "Aligning thousands of employees is critical now that the lines between hardware, software, and services is now blurred or disappearing. He also went on to say that this cannot be done unless the groups work together. When Tim Cook was asked about the results of the culture change, he replied, "The number of new product releases, the improved financial results are now becoming apparent by groups working together on the Apple products." Successful companies willing to change the culture for success. Today we have disclosed the information of why organizational culture is powerful. Secondly, we have shared how a winning culture can benefit the employee. Finally, where we find the culture benefiting from the change to bring success to the employer and to the employee. Successful companies promote and change to maintain a winning organizational culture for its employer-employee. If you are considering joining a new company or advancing your career, consider a company demonstrating a winning organizational culture.